Hi and welcome to PCC Today. I'm Juan Gutierrez, Director of Public Relations here at Pasadena City College. Well, today's show is dedicated to the Educational Master Plan here at PCC. What is that? Well, simply, it's going to dictate how we offer education to our students in the 21st century. You'll hear from Dr. Mark Rocha, President of PCC. You'll also hear from our Board President, Mr. Bill Thomson. Dina will stop by to talk about transfers, and Dr. Stuart Wilcox will talk about career pathways from K through 12 all the way up to community colleges and four-year universities. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our EMP show.
There's two essential ideas at the heart of PCC that you see again and again and again. One is social justice.
Fusaye, Hamane, Utsonomiya.
But the community college itself in 1924 was founded on a principle of innovation. Actually, they called it at that time the 644 plan. It's a new idea, completely new idea. PCC is setting out this roadmap in the Ed Master Plan to maintain our heritage of excellence. How PCC will again lead the way in the 21st century, the way we did in the 20th. What we've done is, in the Ed Master Plan, is to set out a series of very, very specific goals that we will work on and achieve over the next 3 years so that we can celebrate our 90th anniversary and begin to realize this vision that we have for creating the first truly global community college of the 21st century.
Well, the Educational Master Plan really is a game plan or a roadmap that's going to guide the activities of the college, including the administration, the faculty, the staff, all of the constituents for the next 4 years. Our game plan, as you know, is to become the #1 transfer institution in California, community college institution, by the year 2014.
From the very beginning, this plan was developed not to be just another document that would sit on a shelf, but that would indeed be a living and breathing document that we would look at on an annual basis.
It's an organic document. We'll continue to adjust it to reflect circumstances as we move along. We're one of the few community colleges that have put down our stats for our transfers, because that's one of the most important things for our outcomes for our students, for the award of associate degrees, because the award of a degree is the transformative moment for a student, for the award of degrees in what we call STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. We feel that's one of our stocks in trade, and we want to increase the number of degrees in that area. And in certificates, workforce certificates, such as the construction trades, automotive technology, and the certificates in health, and so on. We want to, that's a major goal, to increase the number of certificates. And finally, what we call basic skills, or the achievement gap. The number of students and the percentage of students that we are succeeding in getting through to clear their English and math requirements, which are essential for student success. So these are the primary goals. We state where we are now, which is pretty good. We're one of the top community colleges in the state. And we state where we're going to go over a 4-year period, what our numerical goals are, so that we can chart ourselves, our own progress, and so that the community, the external community, can chart our progress as well.
Education really is the issue of our times. The things, we're finding now at Pasadena City College of our entering students, and it's not unique to us, it's not even unique to the state of California, it's across the nation. We are finding that 60+% of the students coming in need basic skills training. Reading, writing, and mathematics, the things that we all learned in high school or perhaps even in grammar school. And now the students really need that help. So we need to make the community aware of what the needs are and what we're facing, the challenges. If we can get our act together here and help this area become better off with more educated students, we will do better economically, and the state will do better. It just follows like night and day. So we're very excited about it, and we're looking forward to working on that in the next few years.
The EMP is the result in part of asking the community in many engaged kinds of opportunities, asking the community, what is it that you need, what are your top priorities, and so on. And so those have been encoded into the EMP. Here at the college, we've had a long process with faculty, staff, and students. And over the last 6 months, we have broadened that participation to make sure that every voice is heard and is reflected in the Ed Master Plan. So now we have the signature goals of the Ed Master Plan, such things as, the things I referred to with transfer and degree and workforce certificate. But we also have those signature goals of seeing to the in-district enrollment. Students from our in-district high school seeing that they have a priority, such things as lifelong learning. So we've written into the plan signature goals that we heard coming from both the external community and the internal college faculty and staff.
They're very aggressive goals that we're going to work very hard to achieve to become the #1 community college by the 2014-15 academic year here in the state of California. In order to make that happen, we have to very quickly mobilize around the action items that are also set forth in the plan that speak to very specific goals.
One of the key priorities here that I'm always quick to point out, one of the key priorities is how we create more wealth. We often see resources as just what's coming from the state, but resources are also how we can create more revenue. So this plan has very clear actions about how we can create more revenue to fuel our priorities, create more revenue obviously in our foundation and fundraising, in contract education, in fee-based extension, in non-resident tuition for international students and other non-residents, in online education, and so on. So we do have some opportunities to not just respond to the budget cuts, but also to increase the revenue so that we can achieve our main goals.
Well, hopefully, if you've been a part of the Pathways project that we have been developing with Pasadena Unified School District and will be applying to other school districts as well, you would come here not needing those basic skills requirements, and you would be guaranteed not only admission into the college, but you would be guaranteed access to certain courses that would allow you to complete the required courses and actually graduate in about 2 years' time, something that currently is very difficult to achieve because of the significant number of students we serve here. People probably don't realize this driving by Pasadena City College, but our current enrollment is 31,525 students, I believe. So we serve a lot of students, and our desire is to have the community know what we're facing and what we're doing and gain the support of the community as we go about providing the education that is so desperately needed.
3-4 years from now, if we're doing our jobs right, I think most students, first of all, will have the counseling to establish a student educational plan before they start. And the students, yes, will have to move into one of these major areas of transfer, degree, certificate, and so on. But they will be more and more enrolled to a program rather than just whatever courses I can get. So I'm just so proud of the faculty and staff for having been equal to the challenge. They've done great work, and it's a great plan. So my job now moving forward is to help that plan work and work for everyone. That's what we're going about doing every day here now.
Hi, and we're back. We're talking about the Educational Master Plan, and with me is Interim Vice President of Student Learning Services, Dr. Stuart Wilcox. Stu, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
Now, Student Learning Services is very important to the EMP. What are some of the goals or some of the action items that the EMP touches upon in your area?
Well, there's several of them. Part of the EMP has set a goal for the college to be #1 in the state within 4 years in terms of transfer and the number of certificates that we issue, and #1 in certificates in the science, technology, engineering, and math areas. Now, the way to accomplish that is with a lot of accurate counseling to help students achieve the degree in an efficient manner, as well as to achieve certificates as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible. So counseling has a significant role, as well as transfer has a significant role in helping the students then transfer on to a university to help us become tops and transfer to the Cal State or CSU systems.
There's a lot of programs that are either new or being augmented. Can you tell me a little bit about the Pathways program?
Yeah, that's one that's currently under development. We're going to start it with the Pasadena Unified School District and then start expanding to the other school districts within our community college district. The idea is that we want to help students move through the community college education and to transfer as quickly and efficiently as possible. One of the things that often delays students is they have so many choices and options. They start taking a lot of different classes. They do get to explore areas, but that starts leading to them spending more than 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years at the community college. So our plan is to lay out a very specific curriculum for the students that they will start with us, and we will guarantee that in 2 years, if they take these specific classes, we'll provide the classes and they will be eligible to transfer and have an associate degree in 2 years. Now, part of this is that the student has to agree to essentially take the classes that we say, these are the courses that you need to take, and they lose the option to start exploring and trying out different courses, but it gets them through quickly.
And that's the thing, it's an agreement between the institution and the student in order to achieve their student success, their educational goals.
That's correct. In fact, we're going to work it up so that we'll actually have a contract that the student will sign and the parent sign, saying we agree to take these classes and to pass them, get with C's or better, and we, as a college, agree to provide those courses and guarantee that there are seats available for them.
Well, that sounds really great. You know, this is something that we've been doing, I believe, in a limited way in the past, but now it's going to be a full-flown program in itself.
Our plan is to expand it, starting with Pasadena Unified as sort of the pilot program to start working all of the details out, and then start offering it sequentially to the other school districts like San Marino, South Pasadena, Arcadia, and build the program.
Sounds great. Well, Dr. Wilcox, thanks so much for spending some time with us today.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be right back. Hi, and we're back, and we're going to continue our discussion about the Educational Master Plan here at Pasadena City College. And joining us is Vice President of Instruction, Dr. Jackie Jacobs. Jackie, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Well, at the core of the EMP is education. So could you tell us a little bit about what the EMP is going to do as far as instruction and education here at PCC?
Well, it's going to have us to focus on the important things. Education is very important. It's at the center of everything as we talk about the economy now and what's happening in our nation. Education is tops, and jobs, people out of jobs, we're going to have to do retraining, people shifting to other careers, and finding how we can get out of the hole we're in terms of the economy. So the EMP is giving us a guide whereby we may be able to follow and focus, plan our curriculum, plan for our interventions and that we need and to have in order, and those new things that we need to do in order to address the situation and the future.
Now that seems like a very tall order. Community colleges have been doing a lot for the community for a while, but one of the newer things that are coming out that's really going to be unveiled is career pathways. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. Well, career pathways, to some extent, we've had in the career and technical education area. We used to call it vocational, and people could say if they wanted to go into the health sciences or to the health areas, then we would start with them in the high schools, and so that they would take some courses that are essential and bring them into our courses here. But now it's all over because we can't afford for people just to take courses for the fun of it. They need to be focused on a career, a particular area they're going to transfer to and to develop their skills. So we have to put them into pathways, and we have several pathways. We have a pathway from our non-credit that we don't talk about sometimes. Our non-credit, about 8,000 students that we serve, into the credit side of the college. And so that's the pathway. We're getting them to come in early to see what they want to be from their goals, set their goals, and then prepare. Then from our high schools, we're starting a little earlier down even in the junior high, the middle schools, but certainly in the high schools, we're mapping out pathways, talking to teachers as well as the students and seeing what are you interested in. So then these are some of the courses you should be taking in order to prepare so that when you come to the community college or go to any college, but we want them to come here, of course, yes. Then you won't have to retake some of these courses. You're already set with a good foundation to go into that particular area. Not only in the transfer area, but we're doing pathways in the basic skills areas. We are working with the high schools to say that to help them, to help the students to be better prepared when they come. So some of our courses we're offering in the high schools and getting them prepared. Also pathways to the energy world, the green technology, and that whole area. So we are working with the city of Pasadena and some other in the county wants us to work with them in order to, for the workers that we have now, to retrain them. So set them on a line, a path that they can move up and they can be able to supervise and have better skills. So there are pathways all around us, and we're just taking advantage of working with them.
And I know a big emphasis now is on distance education and hybrid classes. Can you tell us just a little bit about that?
Yes, we're organizing, and that's exciting. That for some times we've had what we call the ITV classes, and we've had a little distance ed, but not much. But now we're organized where we have our distance ed director, and we have faculty that's working with learning more about the platform and how to administer online classes. And we're hoping now, this is our I'd say our entrance into the global world, because now we're looking at stretching out and being able to offer classes all over. So it will help some of our concerns with scheduling here on campus and the space that we have, and the number of students that can attend, the capacity. We'll be able to serve many more and have other varied occupations and skills that we will be able to offer courses in that we haven't before.
Well, sounds great. A lot of exciting things coming down the pike, and I appreciate you joining us today, Dr. Jackie Jacobs.
Well, thank you.
Hello and welcome back to the PCC Today Show. I'm Charla Robertson, and we are talking about the Educational Master Plan, and one of the key components is transfers and transfer students. I'm talking here today with Dr. Jamie McKinney, former student here at PCC and former peer mentor at the Transfer Center. So Jamie, what made you start your career here at PCC?
You know, when you graduate high school, you're 18, sometimes 17, depending on when you started, and you never know where you want to go, if you want to go far, near, anything like that. And so I wasn't sure if I wanted to stay in-state, out-of-state. I figured, you know, I need a couple years to kind of grow up and figure things out, and junior college for me was such a great opportunity for that, and PCC was kind of a no-brainer to come to. I live actually in Monterey Park, but the campus is just so beautiful, and for me, aesthetics was a part of learning, because it wasn't just a great place to come to school, it was a great place to hang out, and so if, you know, it makes you want to come to school and be with your friends.
I would have to agree. Seeing the library on the PCC campus is what made me come here. So how specifically did the Transfer Center help you in your goals?
Well, a couple different things. I actually worked for the Transfer Center, so work study was always nice to have the extra money. But for me, I knew that I wanted to go to a UC system, and the Transfer Center was good because you needed to know the extra requirements. So there was the IGETC, the general education requirements, but in addition, you also had to do major requirements, and a lot of people didn't know the difference, and I didn't, honestly, when I started. So it was such an advantage working there because I got firsthand information, any updates, any things like that, and how I learned as well was teaching other people, so working there really helped with that.
I'm glad you brought up some of the resources there. Could you go into detail about the resources that are in the Transfer Center for Students?
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, first when you walk in, you can get a little overwhelmed just because it looks like all these college catalogs, and you're like, oh, I'm not ready. But then, you know, there's little papers on the top, and they say the major requirements, like I had mentioned. And there's always people floating around either at the desks or, you know, just coming up to you asking you if you need help and whether you're ready to accept their help or not. When I worked there, you know, we'd see the same people come in and out through the month, and then eventually they'd ask for help. So in addition to knowing the requirements to transfer, there are also other things there, such as financial aid help. We used to hold financial aid application workshops, and it can get really confusing really fast. So it was nice that someone actually sat you down and said, this is what you need to fill out, this is the information you need to bring, and I can help you with that.
One last question for you. Any specific or good advice you have for high schoolers just getting here to PCC? What can they get from the transfer? What should they look for when they walk into the Transfer Center?
I think it's never too soon to come in and just get familiar with what the Transfer Center is. It can be, like I said, a little overwhelming when you first walk in. You don't know what you're looking for, but the more you expose yourself to it, the more you can realize right from the beginning, okay, I need to take these classes. I need to do it in this amount of time, and I need to do this before I transfer. And the requirements are extremely different for Cal States, UCs, private schools, out of states. But the more you're familiar with things up front, the more you have leeway to change things throughout the years here. Because if you didn't realize, wow, I have to take calculus and I'm ready to transfer, but I'm only in algebra, that's another couple years you're going to stay here. But if you knew that from the beginning, you could plan it out a little better. And then another thing is just take advantage of the opportunities here. There's semester abroads, which I had gone on. I went to Italy, and I met such great friends through there. And there's one to England, and the resources are here. It's in a smaller environment as opposed to being a little bit overwhelmed like at a UC system or a Cal State system. And it makes you ready for transfer. It makes you ready for those 200 students in a classroom. And I felt very prepared coming here. So I would tell high school students, don't discourage just because you think you might want to go to a junior college or you didn't get into your top UC right out of high school. It's a great alternative to come start your career out at a junior college and, you know, do what you were meant to do, and then you have a better opportunity to transfer.
Wow, that's some great advice, and I hope some of that success you've got rubs off on me. Yeah. So thank you so much, Jamie, for talking to us today, Dr. Jamie McKinney, and we will be back with more talk about the EMP here at PCC.
Hi, and we're back, and we're talking about the Educational Master Plan here at Pasadena City College. To talk about transfers, which is a big component of this plan, is Director of Degree Outreach and Transfer Services, Dina Chase. Dina, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Well, let's talk a little bit about transfer, because we're really successful in that arena here at PCC, are we not?
The college has had an exemplary tradition of transferring students to public and private universities in California and throughout the country.
Now, with the Educational Master Plan, we want to actually take it to the next level. So can you talk about what we're trying to do with EMP?
Well, we're taking a look at a few different areas that are going to impact transfer in a positive way. We're going to expand the pathways for students that are here at PCC and that are planning to transfer to a four-year institution. For example, transfer admission guarantees are expected to be expanded. In addition to that, a lot of technology that we're looking at implementing will help students be able to identify the courses that they need 24/7 online. It's going to be a wonderful opportunity for students, not just to see what classes that they need to take, but how those classes are going to transfer on to the four-year schools and get them on a pathway of success sooner.
Now, you mentioned tag agreements. Could you explain a little bit about what those are and how it really benefits the students?
A transfer admission guarantee, nicknamed TAG, is basically a pathway for students to identify the courses that they're going to need here at PCC, complete them in a certain amount of time, and be guaranteed admission to the university in a certain term.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the outreach that your department does, because you go out to local district high schools and talk about higher education, community colleges, PCC, but you're also going to junior highs kids in middle schools now. So tell us about that.
Oh, that's really been exciting. We're seeing students in kindergarten through 12th, and it's been a wonderful opportunity to share with them what higher education is all about and get them to think about going to college, even though they're in those younger grades. You can't start too young, and we feel early preparation is a big key factor in success. So by getting out to the schools, talking to the kids, talking to their parents, welcoming them to PCC so they can see the campus firsthand, it's been a wonderful opportunity to increase awareness about higher education in general.
Well, the EMP also targets transfer, obviously, as a point of emphasis. Now, is that daunting, exciting, that your area is now something that the school really wants to emphasize?
Oh, how can it not be exciting? You're talking about education, and with education, no one can ever take that away from you. And the opportunities that people have here at the school, whether they're young traditional students, or they're returning students, or they're older students, it's just a wonderful opportunity for them to be able to start their bachelor's degree at Pasadena City College and transfer anywhere in the country.
Well, really exciting stuff, and the MP talks about PCC being #1, and I think we can do that with the right resources and obviously with the right people in place. So, Dina, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
We'll be right back. Well, that's our show for this week. I hope you learned a little bit about the Educational Master Plan here at PCC. It is truly vital to what we're trying to do here at the college, which is provide education to our students for the 21st century. Next week, we're going to dive a little deeper into the EMP. We're going to talk about grants and revenue enhancement and sustainability. So until next time, I'm Juan Gutierrez for PCC Today.